All right, I'm Steve Owenby, pastor at Westport Baptist Church, and we are here for another episode of Meet the Church. And I'm glad that this has been a blessing to many people in our church, but even outside of our church. And today we have with us John and Amanda, the Rathemachers, and we're so glad to have them with us today and to give you a chance just to hear their story. And I know that it's going to be a blessing to you and just to learn a little bit more about them. So, John, Amanda, thank you for coming in today. And John, I'm going to just kind of ask y'all a few questions here. I don't really have a list of questions or anything, but y'all just kind of tell me a little bit about, now, how long have you been at Westport?
We came to Westport, I believe it was homecoming for 2016. It just happened to show up that day, and you guys fed us, and we really enjoyed meeting the people here.
So the food was a draw.
It didn't hurt.
It didn't hurt. Okay, well that's good. That's good. That's great. So I can remember that. I remember y'all coming, but I don't remember it being on a day that we were eating. Was it in that? You said it was like homecoming?
Yeah, it just happened to be that day.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, we had been going to a church over in Concord, North Carolina, for a while, and we decided we wanted to find something a little closer to Denver. And I think we'd been to about 3 or 4 different churches, and when we came here, we really just felt at home and decided to keep coming back, and here we are.
Okay. Okay. Well, I want to kind of jump back to the beginning for you guys. Let people kind of learn a little bit about your history and where you're from and what it was like growing up, siblings. You know, were you involved in church at all growing up, and when you came to Christ and that type of thing. So we haven't got a word out of Amanda yet, but we'll get to her in a minute. So John, I'm gonna start with you on that part, but just tell me a little bit about where you were born, what family life was like, what you did growing up, okay. Where you grew up, so forth.
I was born in a small town a lot of people haven't heard of, Denver, North Carolina. I was actually, I still live on the same street over here in Westport that I was born on. I grew up, spent a lot of time on the lake. I still try to. My parents, my mom attended Denver Baptist Church. She's been there pretty much since it started, I think in 1986. And when she started going there, I was with her, and I was there probably 3 days a week through going to college.
Yeah.
And she was definitely a major influence in my life. She's a strong Christian to this day, and I think she still influences my life. She's watching our kids right now.
Wow, well that's great. Well, we're glad of that. Yeah.
I think I remember it was when I was about 8 years old, Vacation Bible School. I accepted the Jesus into my heart, and I'd grown up hearing about the Word, and felt like that was the time. I was always, a good person growing up, tried to do the right thing. When I went off to college, I kind of drifted away.
Where did you go to college?
I went to college at UNCW. That's where I ended up graduating in Wilmington, North Carolina. And kind of drifted away, kind of got involved more into just college life and partying, and kind of did that through my 30s as well, or no, not 30s, 20s I should say, and met Amanda when I was, I think I was 30 years old, first time we went out, met through some mutual friends, and I just remember meeting her thinking, this girl's a little different than I think she, probably more like what I should be, someone I should be with. And,
Wow. So Now you grew up on the lake.
Mm-hmm.
I think that I'm correct in saying you've maybe got some business dealings. Were you doing boats and stuff?
Yeah, my dad.
This is not a commercial, by the way, unless somebody needs their boat worked on.
No.
But
My
Well,
dad
no,
bought
we
and
don't work
sold
on
a lot of cars and boats throughout his life, and I was kind of his assistant. And he passed away in 2015, and I kind of tried to take over what he had started, and I bought and sold a few boats and fixed a few up, and I still do that to a small scale. Right now, I'm more focused on taking care of our two young children.
right.
And Amanda's been the one working full time,
Right.
helping out her family.
Okay. So, well, Amanda, let's jump over to you. Where were? Well, do you have siblings?
Oh, I'm only child.
Only child.
Yeah.
Wow.
I was only grandchild for a long time.
Wow.
Too. Yeah.
Yeah. What was that? Was that traumatic when other grandkids were born?
Well, there's only one other one. So,
Okay.
my dad came from a really big family, and they
Narrowed it down.
didn't have any children.
Yeah.
My mom's side, they did have several children.
Yeah.
So there's more on that side of
Yeah.
the family.
Yeah. Yeah. My dad came from a family of 15 children, and then I'm an only child.
Oh,
So,
wow.
yeah. So anyway, so Amanda, where were you born, and where'd you grow up and all?
I was born in Gaston, Alabama, and
Gadsden.
yeah, we've talked about this.
Okay. It's coming back to me. Go ahead.
It's okay. And then we probably lived there, and I remember moving to North Carolina when I started kindergarten. So somehow we found our way up here.
So you probably don't remember much about Alabama.
No, I do, because I spent many summers down there, because most of my mother's family still lives down there, and we
Okay.
visit there often. That's where we would always go on a vacation
Right.
as a child
Okay.
to see our
Okay.
family. But and my real mother and father shortly split once we moved to North Carolina, and so my mother raised us as a single mother for a while until she met my stepfather. But I always went to church with friends. Not to say that my mother wasn't godly, she very much is. It's just she worked to take care of us all the time, so I
Right.
would always go with friends. So I went to many different churches, Methodist, Baptist, Presbyterian. It didn't matter, I just went with my friends. And then shortly as we got older, my stepfather stepped up and would be the one to always bring us to
Right.
church. And he is the one who brought me to know Christ when I was about 13.
Wow. How about that?
Yes.
That's awesome.
So
Wow. That's great. So now, where were you? What part of North Carolina were you in when you moved
we've
here?
always lived, when we first moved here, we lived in Davidson, North Carolina, out in the country. Just
So you're a
rented.
farm girl.
I wouldn't say that. I mean, we rented a trailer from a farmer, and he was a
What?
really nice man,
Yeah.
a great man actually. And I'd work with him. He would let me pick rocks out of the field and stuff like that.
That sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah, I liked. Anyways, I liked it. But so we lived in Davidson, and then we've always moved a lot because it was my mom. We were just renting
Right.
at that time in our lives.
Right.
So.
Okay.
And I have an older sister, and my younger sister passed away when I was in high school.
Oh, wow. Wow.
So.
How old was she?
She was 13.
13.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. That's sad. Okay. So, where'd you graduate from high school?
I graduated from Northwest Cabarrus
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And you went to college.
at UNC Charlotte for all the way through my master's.
Okay. And you got your master's as
I'm a nurse anesthetist.
a nurse.
Yeah.
I can't even
Master's in
say it.
nursing. It's
Yeah.
okay.
Anesthetist. Did I get it?
Yeah.
Okay. So, what was your degree in, John?
Marketing.
Marketing.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, good. All right. So, tell me about some of the specifics about meeting.
Oh, each other?
Now, you go ahead and talk here for a
Oh.
minute, Amanda.
I mean, I don't know. We met through mutual friends, just hanging out, and I kind of wouldn't go out with them at first. Just because, you know, he was still just having a lot of fun in life, and I was getting to a point where I really wanted to focus on school, and I knew what I was, you know, I had a plan and goals in mind, and when I had my mind made up, I'd just go for it. So
Right.
he was on a little bit of a different path. He
Right.
was still having fun.
He needed to settle down, and you were.
And I'm not there to change anybody, so he
Yeah.
did his thing and I did mine.
Yeah. Okay.
And so,
Okay.
and then eventually, after a while, we just kind of,
So he changed your mind.
yeah, he changed my mind.
Yeah.
I had to grow up a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But we all do.
Yeah.
I had to too. I mean,
So now, how long have y'all been at Westport?
whatever.
3.5 years.
3.5
I guess.
years?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that would make sense because
Maybe
What year?
Before
maybe
little-
4 years, because homecoming would have been in May.
That's true. So I guess 4 years.
Yeah.
How about that?
and little John's 3, and we were definitely here before I was pregnant,
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
or he will be 3. Yes.
So you guys met, and finally he convinced you to go on a date. Where'd you go on your first date?
To Coral
Sushi.
in Huntersville, right? It's
Yep.
Huntersville. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
And we went there for the second date because
Now,
he's.
if I was
Hey, if
If
something
I-
works, you
that's
stick
right.
with it.
if I were a girl and some guy took me on a date for sushi, that would be the last date.
Oh. And he
Now,
was.
you may like that, but you know, the sushi thing is just.
I actually didn't like it at that time.
Oh,
I
okay.
do like it now, but at that I was, you know, still kind of feeling. I was a picky eater, and I had
Right.
to learn to change from being a picky eater.
Yeah. I think I just like things cooked.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So so how long did you guys date before you got married?
Oh, wow.
We were probably dating for 3 years before we even got engaged.
Yeah.
Does that sound about right?
Okay.
And then we had to be engaged for almost
It was 18
2
months.
because I wanted to get through school. It's stressful, and you know,
Sure.
so
So you.
Close to 5
we
years
got married
total.
towards the end of my program in school.
When did you get married?
August.
Yeah, 2015.
2015.
Yep.
All right. Okay.
So I think-
So that's, man, you're about to celebrate 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
How
It is.
about that? Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
It's coming up before too long.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. So, well, what have you been involved with here at Westport? For different ministries.
I mean, I help out with the nursery, but that's about it. That's not.
That's not. Well, I wouldn't say. Well, that's just about it.
Well, I mean, I can't think of
that's
anything.
good.
I feel
That's
bad.
good.
I just.
No, I'm saying that's not a little
Oh,
thing. That's a
okay,
good thing. That's a
okay.
great thing.
Yeah.
I wish more people would work in the nursery. We wish more people would work in the nursery. But anyway, I regress. So
Let's see. I help out with the security and
You're on the finance committee.
finance committee. Let's see. What else?
Well, what is it when you help with the offering?
counter.
Oh,
Count some?
usher.
Yeah.
That's
Oh, usher.
Usher, yeah.
Oh, okay, usher. Okay. Yeah. All right. So I was going to ask a question here. Kind of slipped my mind. So you got children.
Yes.
Share about your kids. What's
Oh. We have 2 beautiful kids.
Yeah.
I'm very happy. They're wonderful. Mina, little John will be 3 in September, and Mina is 4 months old.
Okay.
And
That's
they're-
amazing.
Yes.
Wow. Got a little girl.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
She's beautiful and
I think she's going to be sweet.
she is a sweetie. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, what's God been doing in your lives? Anything out of the ordinary? I mean, any big changes, or just maybe something you learned out of the Word that's just really impacted your life here in the last little bit, or?
I mean, I just feel like we've been so blessed. I've had so many opportunities, and God's just been really good to us. And we're just trying to instill Christian values in our kids' lives, and just keep them on a good path to life. And
Right.
looking forward to the church getting back to normal, so we can
Yeah.
be a little more involved. It's just been hard with having the 2 little kids.
Right. Well, and that's going to be a process.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah, we
it,
understand.
You know, it's kind of like you know, if you're riding a bicycle, you know, you may be cruising along pretty good, and if you stop, it takes a little time to get back up to speed, and it's going to take us a little time to kind of get our momentum back.
Of course.
And yeah, there's going to be new challenges with that, just
sure.
just out of concerns that people will have that are continued to exist for a while, and you know, who knows if this particular virus is going to resurface in the fall or the winter, and you know, maybe people have good reason to, you know, maybe limit their attendance. There will be people in the church, and I think that wisely there will be people in the church that choose not to come out initially. You know, people with maybe a compromised immune system, or they're in that category of people that are more vulnerable to more drastic effects from the coronavirus. And you know, not only would I say, well, you do what's safe, I would say, you know, we would encourage you to not put yourself in a risky situation.
Right.
But getting that momentum back, I guess, is what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
And you know, our plan is that you know, for the month of June, we're just going to meet for worship on Sunday mornings at 10:30. But then on probably about the third or fourth Tuesday, our staff deacons will meet, and we'll kind of talk about, okay, where are we now? What's going on? What news are we getting from our professionals in the health division of our government and all? What are they recommending? Try to take all that into account. You know, do we expand a little bit more what we're doing, and maybe, I don't know, maybe at that point we're ready to maybe possibly have Sunday school or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
We just got to kind of wait and see what happens.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
Yeah. All right. Well, so let's go this route here for a minute. Tell me about, and you've kind of alluded to this a little bit, both of you, but are there any particular people that really have just impacted your life spiritually?
For me, it's been Amanda, because I guess I said earlier, I was kind of, you know, I drifted away from God, even though I had a good foundation. My mom was always around, but I, you know, I was just kind of having a lot of fun through college and years after college. And when we got together, Amanda made it clear that, you know, well, I guess I shouldn't say that. I kind of felt like I wanted to be with her, and I knew that she was a Christian, and I wanted that. And she invited me to a church she was attending in Concord, and the more I went with her, the more I kind of got, I guess, this desire to, you know, get back in with the church and change my life around. And you know, she was always there to help me out with that, and
Right.
you know, talk to me about those kind of things. And you know, it was, you know, I probably we wouldn't be together if it wasn't, you know,
Right.
for all those steps and
Yeah.
situations.
Yeah. Well, and God uses people in our lives, and He has many different ways that He can get us where He wants us to be. But obviously, He used Amanda in your life in a great way, and that's awesome. And you know, even now, you're married, and all married couples, we ought to be speaking into each other's lives. And I'm going to be preaching this Sunday on Hebrews 10, 24 and 25, and it says, "And let us consider one another," talk about the church, "let us consider one another in order to stir up love and good works." And you know, even that word to stir up, I mean, it's a strong word. I mean, it means just really provoke someone, you know. And you think, well, how often we do that in the church? But you know, that ought to be happening in our marriage too. We ought to be, you know, John, what are you doing to love the Lord? What are you doing to serve the Lord? Amanda, what are you doing there to grow in Christ? And we ought to be stirring that up, just provocatively, aggressively, encouraging each other. And I'm glad that you kind of have that starting from the very beginning there. But
and also Joey and Jordy, they were two teenagers that lived with us for a couple of years, and they actually influenced my life a lot because they were. I had to be a good example for them, so I had to live the right way, and they were constantly watching me to see what I did, and so it pushed me to be the best I could be, and and we did a lot of studying the Bible, or at least tried to, and prayed a lot, and just because I was like, I want them to be strong Christians, and so it kind of forced me, caused me to live more for Christ.
Yeah. Now, I ran into Joey not too long ago at the store, but what is Jordan? Is she in school now, or?
She's at Wilmington. Well, of course she's not because of the corona, but she's taking a summer class online. But she's been staying where Joey lives because she wants to spend as much time with him as possible, which is good because once they moved in with us, that was the first time they actually, in a long time, that they got to live together.
Right.
So, and I think now she realizes at first they fought, and it,
Yeah.
but now she realizes that means a lot to her to spend what time with her brother and growing up. Yeah.
So, just was the fact that John didn't seem to really be too serious maybe about the Lord, is that a fair statement when you first met, or?
I don't know. I mean, we're all in different places, and I hate to say it, but sometimes you put that on the back burner, and you're living in that moment in life, doing what is fun. I did it too. You're just having fun, hanging out, and then there's that voice that's like, well, maybe you should be living like this and doing this, and I don't, and I think, I kind of was, but I'd already kind of realized that I needed to, that's not really the life I wanted to live. And, we all do things and make mistakes and learn. And I feel like when you have Christ in your heart, He's always trying to bring you back. Well, and maybe He pulled me back a little sooner, and then I got John and I took him with me.
Yeah, I've read that 99% of Christians they struggle at times in their faith with Christ.
Yeah, we all do.
And the other 1% is lying.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And I think those struggles help you to grow too.
Yeah. Right.
Like you have,
God uses that, perfects us.
He does.
And the good thing, He's gracious, and He's not trying to cast us away.
No.
He's trying to draw us, and He will do things to help us to see that, man, this isn't where you need to be. And I know even as a teenager myself, there was a period of time there where I lost interest in the Lord, and I can look back on that now, and I can see that God graciously, He said, okay, I'm going to let you get a little taste of what you think you want.
Yeah, what you think.
And see that it's not going to quench the thirst that you have.
Exactly.
And it was exactly right. There came a point, it's like, wow. I kind of felt like Solomon in Ecclesiastes. I did this and I did this and this, and it was all vanity. It didn't do anything for me.
Exactly.
And Christ is what satisfies.
Yes.
So what about you? Any? I know your stepfather. That certainly was momentous. That he impacted you and shared the gospel with you and brought you to a place where you were ready to publicly confess your faith in Christ and all that. But are there others maybe along the way that?
Well, I mean, I guess now when I have difficult times, I talk to my mom a lot, and we are each other's sounding board to help, remind each other that that's not how you should act, or that's maybe not what you should say, and that you should be gracious to others who hurt you or upset you. And so I mean, right now in my life, she's a real sounding board for me.
Right.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
God lets those sometimes even the sinful things that people do, I think He lets those come into our lives so that we can have an opportunity to show the power of the gospel at work in our lives. You know, and we in those. It's easy to say, "Oh, I follow Christ. Yeah, I love Christ." But then when the hard times come, do we still put on the image of Christ? Do we show Christ in those situations? So, yeah, wow, well, that's great. All right, well, anything else you want to add to this, or any other?
I don't think I'm an adder.
Yeah, yeah, okay. Well, I appreciate you all coming in today and
Thank you.
spending a little time and sharing with the church. And I know it's going to be a blessing to everybody. So we'll close in prayer. And John, do you want to close in prayer, or I can?
Yeah, I mean,
why don't you pray for our church?
Okay.
And listen.
In the world.
Yes, I was going to say pray for our world, but our nation with all that we're going through, for our church that will wisely step forward, you know, make wise stepping forward as we try to move back to normal. So, okay.
Dear Lord, I just want to thank you that we're able to come in today and meet with Pastor Steve, and I just want to pray for this church, and we love it so much, and just pray for our nation. I know it's really hurting right now. That pray that your hand can just touch those that are hurting, and I just really want to say thankful for my family that we have, and how blessed we are, and in Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
All right. Thank you all for coming in.
Thank
and,
you for having
Thank
me.
you all for tuning in. And I hope, again, this has been a blessing to you. I know it will be. And we will be worshiping this Sunday here at Westport at 10:30. It's going to be very structured on how we get people in and get seated and how we dismiss, because we want to respect the fact that you know there are still some dangers with transmitting the virus, but also the fact that there are some people that their comfort level is going to be less than others, and we don't want to do anything to intrude on their space as they try to come and worship as well. But we're also going to be on video on YouTube and Facebook, so you'll be able to watch that live as you have been for the past couple of months. So you be praying for us. Pray for. I appreciate your prayers for me in preparation for Sunday and everybody involved. But we appreciate you tuning in. And if you have any needs, please do not hesitate to contact us. The website for the church is www.westport.church, and the phone number here at the church is 704-483-1000. And if you have a prayer request, you can send it to prayer@westport.church, or if you have a question, you can also email us at info@westport.church. So thank you for tuning in, and God bless you.